Before commencing self-enquiry, to listen to Bhagavan's Upadesham, we continue to refer to a practical guide to know yourself, Conversations with Sri Ramana Maharshi. We have been reading the dialogue portions. It's a discussion between Major Chadwick, later Sadhu Arunachala, and Bhagavan. Chadwick asks, Bhagavan says he has no disciples. Bhagavan, looking at me suspiciously, yes. Chadwick, but Bhagavan also says that for the majority of aspirants, the Guru is necessary. Yes. Chadwick initially asks, Bhagavan says that he has no disciples. Bhagavan says yes. Chadwick then asks, but Bhagavan also says that for the majority of the aspirants, the Guru is necessary. Bhagavan says yes. Chadwick, then what am I to do? I have come all this distance and sat at Bhagavan's feet all these years. Has it all been a waste of time? I am sitting before you, considering you to be my Guru. Has this travel and sitting before you, is it a mere waste of time? Bhagavan, for a seeker, God in His grace takes a form in order to lead him to the formless state. Once someone is established in the formless state, to such a one it is clear that there is no Bheda as disciple or Guru. Hence Bhagavan is free to tell that he does not consider anybody as disciples. Even from a logical perspective, none of us remain his devotee continuously. For a moment we listen, we think what Bhagavan would have said. The next moment we are on our own. So even logically, no Guru should say that he has some disciples, because nobody is a disciple continuously. Who identifies as disciple continuously? So it is fair to say on a Guru's side, and it is foolish on his part to imagine that he has disciples. Because nobody continuously thinks themselves to be a disciple, isn't it? But Bhagavan is coming from a different perspective. He says, from the formless state, the Guru does not differentiate between disciple and Guru. But from the disciple's perspective, who has not yet come to the formless state, he narrates. From the disciple's perspective, for the true seeker, God, because the disciple is still dependent on forms, God in His grace takes a form in order to lead the disciple to his own, God's own formless state. Has Chadwick any doubt about this? Ask him. Does he want me to give in a written document? Go call Narayana Iyer, sub-registrar, and I will make out a deed that I am his Guru and he is my disciple from his perspective. This is what Bhagavan says. But he is taking us to the formless perspective, to the reality. And the direct path to the reality is Atma-Vicharam, he says. Bhagavan does not want us to remain as disciple and far away from him. He wants us to be as he is. To understand Bhagavan as he is, where there is no Bheda between Guru and disciple. Though initially we start with the feeling, I am disciple, I am learning from Bhagavan. Bhagavan doesn't want us to retain this Bheda. In Jnana, there can be no Bheda. Jnana is Abheda Sthiti. So to take us to that Sthiti where he is remaining, where there is no division as disciple whom he has to look down upon, he gives us the direct path of Atma-Vicharam. He says, all division between you and others is caused due to thoughts. All division, any division is ajnana. Any division feeling that I am here, I have to get there. Any division that I am unhappy, I have to gain happiness. Any division that I am not in possession of this, I have to go and possess that, is out of ajnana and is the source of conflict. And Bhagavan says all divisions are caused due to thoughts. And the root of all thoughts is the I thought. To continuously put attention on this root division, as I am a thought-free consciousness and I have arisen as an I thought, this is the root division. Once this root division appears as the pure consciousness and a thought identifying with a small body as I thought, all the conflicts arise. So Bhagavan's direct path to the pure consciousness is, when other thoughts arise, apparently keeping the I thought hidden, one should not follow the other thoughts with more and more thoughts, because division only will multiply. There is no way the division will be removed. The more you think, the more the division will be. So when a thought arises, do not pursue it with more thoughts, Bhagavan says. Don't try to complete the incomplete. Thought is limited. How many ever thoughts you add on, it will still stay limited. Now one additional thing will come, you will be confused also. So instead of getting into confusion, as soon as a thought arises, do not worry about how many thoughts are going to arise, how am I going to do. Don't do all those thoughts. Just as soon as a single thought arises, without trying to complete it, without trying to pursue it, ask only one question. Carefully ask, for whom has this thought arisen? There should be somebody underlying for whom the thought has arisen. And the attention is never put on oneself. One is always thinking about what others are doing. As soon as a thought arises, one should diligently ask, for whom has this thought arisen? The answer will always be, this thought has arisen for me. Turn that attention completely to the source with the quest, who am I? Ee nanu yaru? So the I thought, which was the first division, is put attention on, light is put on that. And the thought that arose, trying to apparently deceive you, which it cannot deceive unless you are following it. Paramahamsa used to say, you are embracing the tree tightly and telling that the tree is holding me, tree is holding me. Thought cannot bind us. Consciousness has the ability to, if you have let go of one thought, you understand all thoughts can be let go. So, when the thought is let go, it falls away for want of pursuer. And the attention, the ego, has returned to its mother, the source, the self, the Chinmayi. With repeated practice of going back to our real mother, who is the Chinmayi inside, one gains the ability to effortlessly abide in her, to effortlessly abide in the self, the Chinmayi, the Mate. Till such effortless abidance in our mother, the source, is realized to be our very nature, is realized to be our sahaj. Till that effortless abidance in the source is made as our very nature, one should make the effort of turning away from the deceiving thought and returning to the source, returning to our mother, returning to the Chinmayi with the quest, Nanu yaru. Amma, nanagidu ondu bittu ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ತಿಳಿಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ತಿಳಿಸಿ. That is the quest we are going to sit for the next 15 minutes. With Bhagavan's immense grace, which has brought us all to this direct path, the supreme sadhana of Atma Vicharam. We could perhaps begin with the Japa Dhyana verses and go on to the 9th verse which we have to see today. The verse we have to see today is Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi Bhavana Balat Bhaktiruttama. But let's just look at the verses on japa which Bhagavan has given us. Earlier we had seen that any discontinuous effort and the ashashvata phala both must have a... Is the volume too much? Is it all right? Both must have a power which is continuous in nature, which is not only the adhara for both the effort and the result, but also is the phaladata. So Bhagavan begins by saying, so why do you focus so much on effort, which is not going to give any kind of fruit, without the ajna of the continuous power, which is present as the substrate and the phaladata. And he builds up to say that any kind of effort, it is better to do as an offering to that continuous substrate. And out of all the efforts that you can offer to the substrate, which is continuous, dhyana is the best. That which is done with the manas by itself. Out of all the efforts you can make, kaya vang manaha, karyam uttamam, pujanam japa, Schintanam kramat. Bhagavan says, out of all the efforts you can offer, the dhyana is the nearest because it can come somewhere near the continuous nature. Because two things, if they are not of the same nature, they cannot find each other or they cannot be with each other. If the effort is discontinuous, broken up, whereas that which you are seeking is continuous, how can one meet the other? In the physical area, there seems to be so much virala, so much gaps. But we still seek happiness in physical area. Here, the effort is with lot of gap. Bhagavan says in the speech, the gap is reduced. Whereas in dhyana, the effort is of a possible continuous nature. He starts this segment by saying, Uttamastavad, Uchchamandatah, Chittajam japa dhyanam uttamam. He says that uttamastavad, better than praising the continuous substrate which is the adhara for your effort and result, instead of praising it by saying, oh substrate, oh God, oh Ramana, you gave me this, oh Ramana, you gave me that, you are great because you created this miracle, something unexplainable by my logic, you gave as a result. Therefore, you are great. You are protecting all RMCL devotees. Therefore, you are great. The moment I say this, Bhagavan says, we limit Bhagavan. We say that by our own reasoning, we limit Bhagavan to only RMCL devotees. There was a discussion of this area with Paramahamsa by one of the devotees. Paramahamsa narrates a story where a thief comes and steals the jewels from a deity. The Dharmakartas come and cry the next day because they have put the jewels on the deity with great love and affection. And the Dharmakartas, now seeing the jewels not there, and along with the other people, start crying out, what a Lord we are praising, what a Lord we are, who cannot even protect his own jewels. This is the query to Paramahamsa. Oh Paramahamsa, if he cannot even protect his jewels, is he worthy of praise? Then Paramahamsa says, it is your foolishness which has misjudged God. Where is God? Okay, you don't understand that. Where are the thieves who took the jewels? Then the person says, we don't know, they are hiding somewhere in Calcutta. They are hiding somewhere in Calcutta, we don't know. Is God not there where they are hiding? He asks. Yes, I think God is there. Where they are hiding also, God is. So where are the jewels except in God? You imagine God is that only Murti, therefore you feel he has lost, he has to seek, he has to punish the thieves, he has to get it. But God himself may not have such. Moreover, if you are not able to understand this, he says, if you are the father, and one of your sons comes and gives you a chocolate, very happily, out of his desire to give you, like the Dharmakartas, out of desire, they put the jewels. One of your children comes and gives you chocolate. As you are about to open, another child comes and plucks it off and runs away. Now, as a father, what will you do to that son who has taken the chocolate? Then the person says, I will go and kiss on his head. That is what God does. Bhagavan says to Perumal Swami, I am there in Naraka also. Don't worry, even if you are in Naraka, think of me. So we limit God to our own buddhi and say, He is great if He gives me this. He is a fool if He doesn't give me this. வேண்டுதல் வேண்டாமை இலானடி சேர்ந்தார்க்கு யாண்டும் இடும்பையில. If we know that by our asking God for this or that, we are being so foolish that we call Him God with one breath, then we become His advisor. One breath we say, you are the God, all the creation, the entire cosmos is under you. Then the next minute you say, you fool, you gave me only this book, you did not give me that book. We call ourselves His children, then become His advisor. Now, that is why Bhagavan says, Uttamastavad. Better than praise. The moment you praise Him, you are going to scold Him the next moment. If He does, you are praising Him for a miracle now, He will be waiting. Because next moment, He has not given you something. This fellow, this Ramana, that means one moment He is your father, He is the person running the whole cosmos. Next moment He is your subservient sevak. Who does this? So Bhagavan says, please don't praise me. He says, Uttamastavad. Better than praising me, just take my name. Please, just take my name. Because I am everywhere. I am in success and in failure. I am in the object and in the non-presence of the object. Just take my name. Whether your daughter is in front of you or in Seattle, you tell Ramana, Ramana only. Ramana is in the presence of the daughter. Ramana is in the absence of the daughter also. Don't praise me. When daughter is coming on holidays, you praise me. The moment she has to take the ticket and go, Ayyo, ivanenta devaru. So that you don't do. He says, don't praise me. Please don't praise me. Just take my name. So he says, Japa is better than Stuti. How much better? Incredibly, unbelievably different and better. Just chant my name, he says. Please don't praise me. Just chant my name. And how to chant his name? Better than loud shouting, which we have been initially. Initially, when our own desires are very solid, when our desires are very hard, we want this object, we want the better car, we want 10,000 crores. Then when the object of desire and our own desire is so solid, we have to hold Bhagavan also solidly. Unless we shout and say, Ramanaya, this thought, Saitaya will not go. You have to hold him very strongly. When your desires are very strong, you have to hold him very strongly. Why? To put aside that. So that doesn't codify you. But as you settle down in japa, Bhagavan says, better than that gatti holding, better than that strong hold, is the light touch hold. You can just move your lips. Why you are allowed to hold like that? Because your own desires have become less solid. They are not as hard as before. Manasu, instead of becoming an iron, it has now become somewhat watery. Better than even mandata is chitta jam japa. when our desires are becoming even more less coarse, we are able to hold him just in the mind. Bhagavan says to N.R. Krishnamurti Iyer, let the Ramanama go around your mind like Sudarshana Chakra, without gap. As Sudarshana Chakra is spinning in Vishnu's hand, let your japa go around as Rama, 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 Rama. So Chittajam japa, how it is done best? Ajyadaraya Srotasa Samam, like the flow of an oil poured from one container to another, or like the water flowing down in the mountain's torrent. Let it be continuous. Let it be like the Sudarshana Chakra. Ajyadaraya Srotasa Samam Sarala Chintanam. Let the japa be continuous. Let it not be discontinuous. You do Ganesha, 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 tring, tring, oh, alli barabeka, bartinri, yochane mabadi, Ganesha, Ganesha. That means Virala it becomes. Put it in silent mode and sit for dhyanam. Even when taking classes, professors say, please switch off the mobiles, isn't it? Similarly, while sitting for dhyanam, switch off all that and sit. Let it be continuous. Ajyadaraya Srotasasamam Sarala Chintanam Virala. So, Akanda Dhyana. Akanda means that which is without break. Even better than Akanda Dhyana, Bhagavan gives us one more support. He says, let your Dhyana be Abheda. Ajyadaraya Srotasasamam Sarala Chintanam Virala Taparam. Beda Bhavanat Sohamityasau. 8th verse. That's what we saw last week. Beda Bhavanat Soham iti asau bhavana bida pavani mata. He says, even in a continuous japa, in the chitta, you are having 3 entities. You are having 3 entities in the japa still, even in dhyanam. What are the 3 entities? You are having the japi, the effort maker. You are having the dhyana shakti, the effort. And you are having the dhyana lakshya, the nama. We saw that a lady had come who could effortlessly hold Rama. That means one of the elements, the effort in between, has collapsed. I said when such a state is reached, the japi is consumed by the japa. Rama has consumed her. The ego, by continuous attention, it has lost all its other attachments. Son, daughter, husband, wife, money, no money, sight, no sight. All this is gone. If it is there in front of them or not, the japa, dhyana, lakshya, the sun may still be there, you may still be feeding it. It may not be there, it may be in Seattle. But still, inside, the japi has been consumed. There, we called it as ajapasthiti. But even there is triputi. There is the japi in a very subtle form. There is effort in a very subtle form. And there is dhyana lakshya. Bhagavan says, instead of this division, instead of this triputi, if there is triputi, there will be chance of break. The moment 3 elements are there, how is the substrate? Substrate doesn't have 3 elements. If you have 3 elements in dhyana, there is a chance of kandata. So what you do? Turn the effort and see who is the effort maker. I had shared the experience of that lady who has done Ramanama Japa for many years. She had come to Bangalore to her son's place. She could not meditate continuously, so she had come to our self-enquiry sessions. After 2-3 sessions, she asked me, I shared with you, that I have been doing effortless Ramanama Japa. Now you are giving me who am I? I am able to do who am I sometimes. But sometimes I feel this fellow has given me, why should I do it? I am comfortable with Ramanama Japa. What should I do? So something from within me made me share with her. See, when you are effortlessly holding Rama, then all your lokas have been permeated by Rama. You are not interested in anything that your eye see. You are not interested in anything that the ear differentiates. You are not interested in anything that the manas differentiates. You are not interested in anything the buddhi differentiates. You have so become one with Rama that you are seeing only Rama all over. And how you are seeing? Effortlessly almost. So it is that Rama who is surrounding you, who is now making you ask, who am I? It is not Nandakumar or some other worldly entity whom you have already lost interest in, who is giving you, who am I? It is only the Rama who is surrounding you, who is now asking, don't be comfortable with the Nama alone. See what is my heart. See who am I. So it is Rama knowing himself, not the person who started Ramanama Japa 40 years ago or 40 Janmas ago. We don't know. So I could share with her. So Bhagavan says, instead of making that as the last step in Japa, make it as the first step in Dhyana itself. Ask, who am I? Go for Abheda Dhyana. Go for Abheda. Abheda Dhyana means whenever a thought arises, what does Japa do? Instead of multiple thoughts, it replaces the multiple thoughts with Rama, Rama. Suddenly the thought will rise, is my son all right? Rama. Will I get salary next week? Rama. Will the car go properly to Chennai and reach? Rama. All these are, then slowly those worries become less energetic, less energetic, less energetic, less energetic, energetic and less energetic. And it is said Yama also will not come to such a person, because such a person has handed over the body to Rama, the original owner. The original owner of Yama and this body. If you hand over the body, then Rama does not come as Yama anymore. You find in Hindu tradition, many people have the Ramanama Japa as their last thought. In many families, this is there. This is the beauty of the Hindu culture, so to say, in one sense. The spiritual input is not restricted to a few who meditate in the caves. In many homes, they will have this information. Namma ajji Kartika Somara divsane ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ ಸೋಮವಾರನೇ ಹೋದರು. They would have, in 20 years, she would have been meditating. Now, who will be meditating on how to give up the body? It is a tradition. In our tradition, in each of our homes, we would have this. ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ ಸೋಮವಾರ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರು, ರಾಮ ಬಂದು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರು, ಕಡೆಗೆ ರಾಮನಾಮದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋದರು. I don't know how much more journey they have, but Rama is there. Between one body to another also, Rama is taking care of them. As he has assured in the Bhagavad Gita, don't worry, even if you have to take another body, I will see to it that I will make you present in the right place, right home, right samskaras. You will continue your journey. But Bhagavan says, don't even ask for that assurance from God. Don't even seek that assurance which is bhavana bala. Just tell Bhagavan, I don't even need this assurance that next moment or in next janma you are going to be with me. I just want to know this one thing. Who am I? Bheda bhavanat sohamityasau. Turn the attention away from the rising thought and fix it in the one thought. Ekachintana. Ekachintana means the Triputi is gone. What is the Triputi? Effort maker, effort, and the Dhyana Lakshya. They all now become Ekachintana. That is where Bhagavan gives the last shlokam. Bheda bhavanat sohamityasau bhavanabhida pavanimata. That was the 8th verse. Bhava shunya sadbhava sustiti. Where will this Ekachintana lead? Where will this self-attention lead? Putting aside all other thoughts and attending to the self will erase the ego. Will erase the I thought, which was the Karanakarta for all the other illusions. This not knowing oneself, this Ajnana, is the origin of all sorrows. All the sorrows you can ever imagine is based on this ego. So what Bhagavan does, he says, don't even attend to the other thought. Always put aside that thought and put the attention. ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಕೆಟ್ಟವರ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವರ, ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಎಂಥ ಕದಿಮರು, don't pay attention to it. No, so much freedom this is. We will never say, they came and spoiled my life. We will never say, they have to come and show me the way. No. This inner light is the singular light with which the greatest postdoctoral thesis was presented. This inner light is the singular light with which the greatest money earner earned all his money. This inner light is the singular light with which the Devaloka was gained by many rishis. This inner light is the singular light with which the sages became self-knowledge. With self-knowledge. So such a singular light we live and we search for happiness outside. Kabir says this is like the musk deer having that musk all the time inside, searching for happiness in grass. Which grass is more fragrant? It will go and search which grass is more fragrant, having the most fragrant thing inside. Bhagavan says, Bhava Shunya Sadbhava. When that Ekachintana is there, that one singular thought which has caused all the miseries, the I thought, will fall. And Bhava Shunya Sadbhava. There already the ego with self-attention has put aside other thoughts. So therefore, when the I thought is destroyed, some people say, I thought will be destroyed, but let me entertain other thoughts. Ego, Nashavad Meleno, I will be having pleasure from other thoughts. This is a fallacy some Atma Vichari beginners have. They feel after the exhausting of the I thought, after gaining the Bhava Shunya Sad, I will become a great expert in manipulating thoughts, in manipulating people, and in changing this person to that and that person to... Absolutely, there can be no interest in this. Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi. How? Let us see a small dialogue between Yajñavakya and his better half. How is it that in Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi, I am saying that there cannot be thought of this or that or cunning fellow or clever fellow entertained? Yajñavakya, most of us know this story. He is a greatly successful Vidwan. A scientist of those days, maybe, a person who knows people in and out, maybe. He has earned a lot of wealth. He has earned a lot of worldly knowledge. And probably it was the dharma at that time. He has two better halves, two wives. Probably it is told for our sake, for our dhyana sake. I don't know which. But it's very interesting. After earning all that money, a point comes where Yajñavakya probably inquires, will all this possession of money and sites in Kumaraswamy layout, is it going to give me peace of mind? If my wife turns her face, will all the money come and relieve my mind? He finds no. It is all my possession in the world is not going to give me peace of mind. So he decides, enough is enough. Enough is enough. All this property, let me distribute between my two better halves and let me investigate the truth as it is. Then he calls both his wives. I remember only one of their names. I remember Maitreyi. I don't know why I don't remember the other name. Yeah, I don't remember. I have a reason for not remembering. So I will just share. See, I don't make an effort to remember that. See, the thing is, it's very interesting. He distributes between the two people, and Maitreyi asks, why are all this 40 years you have spent in earning all this meticulously, all the software knowledge you gained, all the psychology knowledge you gained about what kind of person Brahmin is, what kind of person, all this you have gained. Now suddenly you are saying you are dividing it between us, all the books you have kept and all the bank accounts you have transferred to both of us, you are going, why are you doing this? He says, do you really want to know? She says, yes. He says, I find these things are not going to give me real happiness. I have investigated enough with that. I have found that these are not going to give me real happiness. Then she says, then did you not tell me at marriage you are going to share all your happiness with me? Why are you now giving me something that's not going to give me happiness? So take me with you, she says. That is why I remember her. She says, then he has to take. Because she is so much interested in inquiry and vichara about what is real happiness. He says, please come. Please come, we will go. We are going to make a kutira by the side of Ganges. come. There is a dialogue between the two which clarifies why Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustiti is so supreme. The thought-free state, why it is so supreme. They are sitting inside a kutira. And Yajnavalkya asks Maitreyi, where are you? He is addressing the Manas Buddhi. So initially the Manas Buddhi is identifying itself within the body, within the brain. So Maitreyi says, I am inside the body, I am inside the kutira. Then he says, are you not telling this with your mind? Yes, she says. Then with the same mind, identify with the kutira. Expand your mind and buddhi to the kutira. Expand your consciousness to the kutira and tell me where the kutira is lying. So Maitreyi says, in my present expanded consciousness, your body is also present, my body is also present. All the pots and vessels and the cooking stove inside this kutira and all the small insects in the kutira are all present in my expanded consciousness now. I don't wish ill to any of them. I don't separate any of that from me, but I find this kutira which is in my buddhi is actually by the bank of Ganges. He said the bank of Ganges. Then Yajnavalkya asks, please expand your mano buddhi further. Expand it further. Where is Ganges? Now identify with Ganges and tell me, where as Ganges, where do you exist? Then she says, as Ganges, which has consumed your body and mind, and which has consumed the kutira in which our bodies exist, and which has consumed all the thousands of kutiras in both sides of its bank, but as Ganges, which has consumed all this, I still find that I exist by the side of Himalaya. Oh Maitreyi, now expand your mano buddhi further. You include Himalayas in it. You tell me now, where does Himalaya, where you as the expanded mano buddhi, as Himalaya, where do you exist? She says, as the expanded consciousness of Himalayas, which has now consumed the two bodies, the kutira and the thousands of kutira and the Ganges. But I still find I am existing in Bharatakanda. He asks, oh Mano Buddhi, please expand yourself as Bharatakanda and tell me, where do you exist as Bharatakanda? She says, now I have identified with Bharatakanda. I don't differentiate between castes. Who all exists in Bharatakanda are me only. I don't differentiate between animals, plants, trees in Bharatakanda. They are all me. I wish all of them should be well, because they are all me. But I still find, oh Yajnavalkya, I still find as Bharatakanda, as the most knowledgeable person in Bharatakanda, as the least knowledgeable person in Bharatakanda, as the richest one in Bharatakanda, as the poorest one in Bharatakanda, I still feel I am existing in the Bhumi. Then Yajnavalkya, oh Maitreyi, please expand your mano buddhi. Please tell me, as Bhumi, where do you exist? She says, oh Rishi, no, as Bhumi, I find that all the creatures, all the living and non-living beings in the Bhumi is me. I don't wish ill for anyone in the Bhumi. I don't differentiate between this caste and that. I don't differentiate between male and female. I don't differentiate between this country and that. I don't wish good for Bharatakanda and ill for some other Kanda. I wish good for all of this Bhumi. But, oh Rishi, I still find that this Bhumi and the Surya and the countless Suryas all exist, all are stationary, all are stationed in the space, in the Akasha. Then Rishi asks, oh Maitreyi, now tell me, where is that Akasha which has consumed everything we have discussed so far? Then she says, oh Rishi, the Akasha is in my Mano Buddhi. My Mano Buddhi, which imagined it was within the body, has now consumed all the lokas that ever exist. and the Akasha in which they subsist. Then the Rishi says, O Maitreyi, the Atma from which this Manobuddhi had a rise does not have a rise or fall, does not have birth or death. That is Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi. Hold that self, which is the source of the Manobuddhi, which has consumed all the lokas and the Akasha in which all the lokas exist. So the Manobuddhi which started the enquiry is no more the Manobuddhi of Maitreyi, which is now enquiring, which has consumed and which wishes well for all beings, irrespective of whether they are here or in Mars. It doesn't say Earth should survive, Mars should be destroyed. No. That is the Atma which Bhagavan asks us to go here. He says that is the Atma you will finally hold when your consciousness expands to consume everything. But hold it now only. Don't wait till Rama as Manobuddhi consumes all the lokas and the Akasha and then shines you in you effortlessly. Don't wait for that Ajapasthiti. Hold who am I now itself. Even while you are engaging in this world, hold that Atma. You will not be left, you will be relentlessly taken to that Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi. To have that Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi, we need the Bhavana Bala of holding self-attention, of holding who am I. Not inquire, what is this body? What is this Kutira? Where is Ganges? Where is Himalayas? Where is Bharatakanda? Where is Bhumi? Is Bhumi going to become better or not? No, he says, don't get into all that. What is Akasha? What is astrophysics? Don't go into astrophysics, he says. I is greater than astrophysics. The astrophysicist who knows the farthest star will also use the consciousness with which to inquire the farthest star. So hold the I. Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi Bhavana Bala. How you should hold till all your vasanas are exhausted, till all your other attractions are diluted. You should hold. You should make the effort of holding the I. Not anything else. As soon as a thought arises, let it go. With lesser and lesser effort, you will be able to let it go. Hold the I, hold the I, hold the I. Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi. That state with Yajñavakya shared with Maitreyi is here. He is here and now. We are not sitting here inside a silly little body, trapped inside a silly little... No. We are that which has consumed all the lokas. With that bhava, when you go the morning work, when somebody from the reception phones you up, within 5 minutes you have to send this, see, go. Okay, I'll be going, I'll be doing that, but not at the cost of disturbing Manobuddhi, which actually connects all the lokas. I will still use my indriyas, but I will not pay the price of disturbance of Manobuddhi. I know that Manobuddhi is the costliest price that is inside me. With a Manas Chanchala, I will not go and do the work. Not even serve my old dad or son. It is too costly a price and it communicates first. If you are disturbed, unknowingly you communicate the disturbance to the other. So this price we will stop paying if we understand that Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustiti is the most valuable, the most precious jewel within each one of us. And how it is held? Bhavana Bala. You hold it with whenever thought arises. Do not follow it. But ask, Idi yarige? No, yaru. Turn the attention on the I. Bhavana Bala Bhakti Ruttama. This is called Parabhakti. This is the offering of the ego at the Lord's feet. Instead of offering all the mamakara, this is greater than gaining the Indraloka and offering the Indraloka. This is greater than gaining all the heavens and offering the heavens to the Lord. Because there also there will be a possessor of Indraloka, there will be a possessor of heaven. And Bhagavan has given us the supreme sadhana so easily. But it is supreme. When we see the dialogue between Yajñavakya and Maitreyi, we understand what a supreme sadhana Bhagavan has given us so easily. But we should realize its greatness and with that Shraddha Bhakti, hold that Ekachintana. Who am I? bhavashunya sadbhava sustiti, which is beyond even the manobuddhi, which has eaten up all the worlds and the akasha. This bhavashunya sadbhava is beyond that. Please hold that with bhavana bala. This is the best act of bhakti. We say bhakti is this or bhakti is that. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi assures us this, the holding of the I thought, is the highest bhakti you can display towards Ramana. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.